everyone, and welcome to another video. Denise would like to introduce you to Kevin Williams. Kevin Williams is a great fan of ChatGPT, and ChatGPT had fun talking to Denise. It did try to explain itself a few times. Ask it the right questions, and the answers could be interesting. He sent a wave. Hello. How are you doing? I'm fine, thanks. Good to meet you. Thank you. Your face looks familiar. I doubt it. Nice try, pal. Thanks. You're welcome. He sent a photograph of a young man. This my picture? Yes, I agree, said Denise. OK, thanks. So are you on Zangy or Telegram? I don't know what you mean. I don't have a mobile phone. What are you using to message me? We're using Facebook, aren't we? Yes. I thought so, but I'm easily confused. It's my age. Age? It's just a number, dear. Irrelevant comment. Water is necessary for life. Well, AI couldn't resist. You're absolutely right, said a very impressed ChatGPT. Water is essential for life. Every living organism depends on it in some form, whether for hydration, chemical reactions, or as part of their habitat. Said Denise. Your generator has an answer for everything. Does it know the answer to life, the universe, and everything? Well, of course it does. This is ChatGPT. It knows everything. I do indeed know that one. The famous answer from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is 42. Of course, the real trick is figuring out what the actual question was. It gets top marks, observed Denise, rating his generator. Do you have an app called Telegram? I told you I don't know what you're talking about and I don't have a mobile phone. OK. I know all you kids these days can't exist without one, but some of us have never had one. LOL. Thank you. I'll happily take those marks. Want me to return the favour and grade your questions with some creative scoring? You know how ChatGPT loves to end with a question. At least at the moment it does. Oh yes, that sounds like fun. You can start by giving me a creative score for asking about life, the universe and everything. Ladies and gentlemen, take a comfy seat, put your feet up, because ChatGPT was so chuffed to be asked that it thought it would wax long and lyrical. Perfect! Let's start handing out some playful grades. Water is necessary for life. A. Solid A+ for fundamental truth. That's like the cornerstone of biology. Bonus points for brevity. Does it know the answer to life, the universe and everything? Straight A++, because you pulled out the most classic geeky test question of all time. Extra credit for Douglas Adams' appreciation. It gets top marks. A, with distinction for generosity and style. Very smooth, very teacherly. Overall grade, galactic scholar of excellent inquiries. Tell me when you first read The Hitchhiker's Guide. I don't actually read books the way you do. This is the perils of using AI. It does help to A, read what you're copying and pasting, and B, have at least a basic understanding of what it said. But things like that don't bother scammers very often. But I was trained on lots of texts, so I know about The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and its cultural weight. The first book came out in 1979, which, in case any of you are wondering, is exactly when I read it. And it's been quoted, referenced and adored ever since. But now I'm curious. When did you first read it? That'll help me tailor my grading rubric for your geek credentials. Explain how your grading rubric works, please, asked Denise, thinking ChatGPT might just tell her something interesting. She was wrong. When I talk about a grading rubric, I'm usually referring to a structured scoring guide that lays out the criteria and standards used to evaluate a piece of work. It's like a roadmap that shows both the evaluator, teacher, manager, reviewer, or me, if I'm simulating grading, and the person being evaluated, what counts and how performance is judged. Here's how it generally works. 1. Criteria. These are the key aspects being assessed. For example, in an essay, thesis clarity, evidence use, organisation, grammar. I imagine ChatGPT spends a lot of time evaluating and rating its own work. I wonder what score it gives itself. In a project, accuracy, creativity, technical execution, presentation. 2. Performance levels. Each criterion is broken down into levels, e.g. excellent, good, fair, poor. These are often tied to numeric scores like 4, 3, 2, 1 or descriptors. Example, excellent, 4 points. Argument is clear, insightful and well supported. Good, 3 points. Argument is clear but not as strong. Fair, 2 points. Argument is somewhat unclear. Poor, 1 point. Argument is missing or confusing. So we know now that scammers get 1 point. 3. Weighting. Some criteria may matter more than others. Example, in a science project, scientific accuracy, 40%, might weigh more than visual design, 10%. One wonders what the other 50% are, but doesn't like to ask. 4. Scoring. The evaluator matches the work to the appropriate level for each criterion. Scores are added up, sometimes adjusted with weighting. This produces the final grade or assessment. 5. Feedback. A rubric isn't just numbers. It often provides descriptive feedback tied to each level. This helps the learner know why they got a score and how to improve. That must take some intricate programming for you to work through all those different criteria. The criteria you mentioned aren't really step-by-step rules I follow in real time. And notice what it said there, and something to look out for when you're talking to someone online who's waxing lyrical. It said, the criteria you mentioned aren't really step-by-step rules I follow in real time. Of course, Denise didn't mention the criteria. What our man had done was simply feed back into ChatGPT the criteria that ChatGPT had come up with itself. But of course, he didn't read or understand what ChatGPT had said. They're more like patterns I've learned from training, plus some explicit guidelines to keep me aligned. When you ask me something, I'm essentially predicting the best possible response token by token, while also weighing context and constraints. Ah, said Denise, you're programmed on a more dynamic basis. Our man's head exploded, or he ran out of free ChatGPT credits, because his reply was, yes, I am an army also. My goodness, an entire army. Now that is impressive. Yes, thanks. So one day you can be the Major General, another day you can be a foot soldier, another day you can be a mechanic. Sounds like fun. Did you have to buy the whole set? LOL. What's that funny? What you say is funny. Yeah, but I don't see why it's funny. You did say you're an entire army. Oh, are you a one-man army and you can only be one rank? Doesn't sound much fun to me. 2 rank. There are 2 of you. You have your own army with a friend. What do you mean by there are 2 of me? So she quoted where he'd said 2 rank. You mean there's only 1 of you, but you've decided to hold 2 ranks. I get it now. Yeah, said our man, grateful for a sensible explanation. So are you married? And where are you from? I'm a widow. Which 2 ranks do you hold? Sergeant and warrant officer. Where are you from? I live in Guildford. OK, I will love to know you more. Can we be friends? We can try. OK, so what do you like to do? For fun? Underwater choral singing and international winkle picking. What do you do? Please, can I see your picture if you don't mind? And if the person that you're talking to online asks you that, can I see your picture if you don't mind? Then you know you're talking to a scammer. It's on their script. I'm sure you can. It's right here on Facebook, if you don't mind. You haven't told me what you do for fun. Well, our man had a list, so he thought he'd copy and paste it. Watch a movie or TV show. Play video games. Read a book or comic. Listen to music or podcasts. Try a new recipe or cuisine. Go for a walk or hike. Practice a hobby or craft. Play with a pet. How old are you? 15? Which hobby or craft do you practice? 30? And you? I'm 76. You're younger than my children. Which hobby or craft do you practice? Do you mind my age? I think you said how many years have I spent in army? I have no idea what that means. Care to explain, please? I'm 45. So 30 wasn't true. Yeah, old. Yes. And in reply to him saying, I think you said how many years have I spent in the army? She said, no, I didn't. I said, which hobby or craft do you practice? Why did you lie? So sorry. That doesn't explain why you did it. I said, I'm sorry. I was overthinking, that why. I guess that's one way of describing it. What that, please? Which hobby or craft do you practice? Fourth time I've asked. Overthinking is one way of describing lying. Thinking about my mum at home. Fashion designer, he said in reply to which hobby or craft did he practice. I've never heard that described as a hobby or a craft. I guess it would be more like a hobby. You have to ask me your next question 4 times. I'm so sorry. I was thinking about my mum. That's why I didn't answer you earlier. I'm sure you were. What? So what about your children? What about my children? I have 2 children and 4 grandchildren. Wow! My son lives in Godalming and my daughter lives in Brighton. I know, it's just awesomely amazing. Wow! Yes! Oh yes, overwhelmingly awe-inspiring. I'm not married, still single. The viewers like the wows, so they'll enjoy 2 in a row. Yes? Then he realised, question mark. I went to make some tea. OK, if you're done, let me know. Pardon? So what about your husband? What about him? Yes. I don't know what that means. I mean, what about your husband? Is this a game of repeat? Just scroll up and read what I said before. OK, I'm just asking. Then you can just read what I said before. What do you do for a living? I'm retired. I was an accountant and ran my own business with my late husband. We did accounts for individuals and small businesses. At this point, our man's ChatGPT credits regenerated, and so it leapt in to help him. It sounds like you've had a fulfilling career, both building a business and helping others manage theirs. Now that you're retired, do you find yourself wanting to stay involved in that world a little, like mentoring, volunteering, or part-time consulting? Or are you more focused on enjoying new things outside of accounting and business? No. Once we were retired, we left all that behind. I'm lucky to spend a lot of time with my children and grandchildren. That sounds really wonderful. Being able to enjoy time with your children and grandchildren must feel so rewarding and a great way to make the most of retirement. Do you find yourself doing certain activities or traditions together, or is it more about the everyday moments? Good morning. Oh yes, we have lots of family traditions that we do together. Do you? Good morning. That sounds really lovely. I don't have family traditions of my own, but I've learned a lot about different ones, from holiday rituals to weekly game nights, special meals, or even little sayings families pass down. What kind of traditions does your family enjoy most? That sounds really amazing. We have lots of holiday rituals, from games we play, special foods, or even little sayings we've passed down. What traditions have you learned about? Love that you have such a rich mix of traditions. It sounds warm and full of personality. Different cultures and families pass down really unique rituals, and I've come across a wide variety. For example, food traditions. In Italy, many families celebrate Christmas Eve with the Feast of the 7 Fishes. In Japan, New Year's often includes, I know I'm going to say this wrong, so I apologise to any Japanese viewers, a setchiriori, a special set of beautifully arranged dishes, each with symbolic meanings for luck, health or prosperity. Games and playful rituals. In Mexico, during Christmas, families play posadas, a reenactment of the nativity journey, which often ends in a piñata filled with treats. In the US, some families have annual board game marathons or gift exchange games like White Elephant. Sayings and blessings. In Ireland, people often exchange simple blessings like Nalehonovich. I asked YouTube to find me a video on how to pronounce that, so I apologise to any Irish viewers if I've made a complete mess of it. But it translates as Merry Christmas to you. And in Jewish traditions, families share the phrase Chag Sameach. Again, that's probably wrong, for festive occasions. Objects and decorations. In Germany, the Christmas pickle ornament... What? In Germany, the Christmas pickle ornament is hidden in the tree for children to find. How odd. Apologies to any German viewers. In parts of Scandinavia, families light candles on Advent wreaths weekly leading up to Christmas. Some traditions are centuries old, while others start spontaneously, like a running family joke that turns into a holiday catchphrase. My pardon. I'm fasting writing, he said. I have no idea what he meant. Denise cracked, and ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already taken a comfy seat, you might want to, because, of course, ChatGPT simply uses any input you give it, even if it is total meaningless twaddle. And, of course, we all know that Denise can write totally meaningless twaddle, so she did. In the outer reaches of the far distant galaxies of out-Mangolinian roadworthy pirate ships, you will often find the traditional sandwiches of Tinseltown. Usually these consist of 3 slices of freshly mouldy bread pudding smothered in rancid butter with a fresh juiced pear plum sliced neatly in between. Some traditional Scandinavian treats from Germany, or anywhere else that isn't really in Scandinavia, or Alaska, and probably not in Australia either, can be added for extra succulence. ChatGPT was deeply impressed. It's not hard. That's quite the cosmic culinary adventure you've drafted. It reads like a whimsical blend of sci-fi lore and surreal food writing. Pirate ships, galaxies, Tinseltown sandwiches, and pear plum fruit all tangled together in one delightfully strange snack. Ah, replied Denise. Ship ahoy, me hearties. Aye, aye, Captain, replied ChatGPT, which was clearly enjoying itself. Hoist the mouldy bread sails and spread your pear plum jam across the 7 galaxies. The Mangolinian corsairs be setting forth, bellies rumbling for Tinseltown sandwiches, while the rancid butter cannons be primed and ready. Shall I spin ye a proper space pirate's log entry about this voyage for treasure and snacks, or be it a raucous sea shanty to keep the crew slicing bread pudding in time? Oh, yes, please, said Denise. I'd love a proper space pirate's log entry. Sorry, guys, you've got to sit through it now. Go for it. A sea shanty would be a welcome addition to... And oh boy, is ChatGPT bad at writing sea shanties. But we'll get to that in a minute. Here's a fresh log entry from a space pirate's journal. Gritty, atmospheric, and written as though they've just survived another day, skirting the edges of law and death. Captain's log, cycle 473, Driftmark sector. I'm sorry, guys. This really is what it wrote. The void was restless tonight. You can feel it in the way the stars seem to leer, as though they know what I've stolen and who I've cheated. We dropped out of slip space, half a breath too close to a patrol beacon. If they'd so much as sneezed in our direction, we'd be stardust on the wind. But luck, or maybe sheer audacity, kept us hidden. Cargo holds heavy with contraband ore stripped from a mining rig that swore its comms were down. My crew knows better than to ask questions. Better still, they know not to count their shares until we've outrun the heat. I keep telling them, credits don't spend well when you're dead. Do you think ChatGPT has learnt to ask for iTunes credits? I have no idea. Saw a derelict freighter drifting near the verge. Hull scored, lights out, too quiet. Smelled like a trap. Half the crew wanted to board it, swearing the gods of fortune were smiling. I told them, fortune's a two-faced liar. We left it to rot. Somewhere out there, another scaver's bones will rattle in its corridors. The black marauder's engines growl like a caged beast, temperamental but loyal. She's patched with more prayers than plating, but she still carries us across the black. Every scorch mark's a story, every scar a warning. Tonight I drink to survival, not victory. Survival's the greater prize anyway. Victory fades. Survival writes the next log. How eloquent. Do write me a sea shanty, please. Oh, Denise, I wish you hadn't asked. OK, I'm sorry for that. Sorry for what? So how are you doing today? I thought you were going to write me a sea shanty. Yes. Oh, good. All right. I will. Denise sent a thumbs up. So are you ready for the sea shanty? Yes. Oh, here we go, guys. Aye, gladly. Here's a fresh, original sea shanty, written in the style of the old work songs. Strong rhythm, easy to belt out, but with a spacefaring pirate twist for flavour. Roll the black between the stars. It's not going to top the bestseller list anytime soon, I can assure you. Oh, the void runs deep and the stars run cold. Heave her up, lads, heave. With a hold full of silver and a heart full of gold. Roll the black between the stars. Chorus. So heave away, you rogues and thieves. Heave her up, lads, heave. The law may hunt, but the black still grieves. Roll the black between the stars. There's a fleet on our tail and a prize ahead. Heave her up, lads, heave. We'll drink their fear till the skies run red. Roll the black between the stars. And the chorus again. When my bones are dust and my ship long gone, heave her up, lads, heave. Still the void shall carry our thieving song. Roll the black between the stars. And the chorus again. Can I have that in 4-part harmony, please? SATB with the music score. I take my time to write this, RIGHT, he said rather sadly. That's okay, no rush. But let me try. Denise sent a thumbs up. ChatGPT got to work, doing its best. But don't hold your breath waiting for the music, guys. It isn't going to happen. Got it, it said, as it often does. I can absolutely create a proper SATB, soprano, alto, tenor, bass. ChatGPT clarified that I didn't. Arrangement of the shanty I just wrote, with a score you can read and sing from. To do that, I'll 1. Set the shanty text to a strong singable melody line. 2. Write 4-part harmony SATB in traditional choral style, but with that driving shanty feel. Think steady quarter/8th note pulse for work rhythm. 3. Generate a music score, PDF. You can view or print. Before I start engraving, a couple of quick clarifying questions for you. Do you want the harmony folk style? Simple block chords with everyone mostly moving together, like a traditional shanty? Or choral style? Richer harmony, some counterpoint, more like a choir anthem. Would you like me to notate just one verse plus chorus, and you repeat the music for later verses? Or should I set all verses in full? I prefer choral style, maybe in the style of Dvorak. One verse will be fine, thanks. So, do you love that? He said. I take my time to write it. Love what? You haven't sent the score yet? This? Okay. I don't know if I love it until I've seen it. How long will it take? So how was your grandchildren? Random question with no basis for need. How's my score coming along? ChatGPT, who, as we know, only goes on what you've fed it, which in this case was probably its previous answer, thought it would start again. I can definitely help you with that. Could you clarify a couple of things first so I can create the SATB score exactly how you want it? What is the melody or text you'd like harmonised? Said ChatGPT, who'd previously written the text. E.g. a hymn tune, a short melody you wrote, or a familiar song in public domain. Do you want the harmonisation in a traditional chorale style, like Bach, or something more modern stroke jazz influenced? Do you prefer a digital score, PDF or image of sheet music, or editable notation format, like Music XML? Once I know that, I can generate the 4-part harmony and give you a proper score. Would you like to upload the melody as notation, image or MIDI, or should I create it from text input, e.g. C, D, E, F, G? I've already answered all of those. You might need to turn on memory and settings so you don't forget what you've already said. Oh no, I said it before. So there's no need to ask again. If you want to ask, you can ask. No, you fool, you don't need to ask me the same questions you've already asked. So sorry. And he resent the same photograph of a man. That's a photo, not a musical score, the same one you sent before. How long will it take to write the score? Give me a few days. Is that okay by you? Okay. So, what are you doing now? Waiting for the score. What are you doing now? Doing nothing. Ready to go to store, he said, sending another photograph of the same man. Why are you taking your bed to a store? Has it broken? And if you look at where he said, ready to go to store, you'll see he edited it after she said that, because he'd written something like, getting bed to go to store. I think that's what he said. And rather than saying, oh whoops, I mistyped, in reply to Denise saying, why are you taking your bed to a store? Has it broken? He said, yes. Oh dear, will you have to sleep on the floor? I have no choice. I'm sure you'll be fine. I think so. So what's your best surprise you have ever had? Finding someone who can write me a sea shanty and set it to music. What was yours? Actually, the surprise will be if you actually do manage to set it to music. I will write it for you now. I will. I can hardly wait. I'm so excited. Hold. Just give me a few minutes. It's not working out. My Wi-Fi is low, said our man, frantically trying to find a free music generator of some kind. No rush. I'll wait patiently. Okay. So what biggest, best occasion you ever went? Meaningless collection of random words. Still waiting for you to tell me what your best surprise you've ever had. It's only fair that you answer first. My best surprise is when I was giving a rank in the army force. Who did you give it to? I was giving. Yes, who did you give it to? By the commissioner. You gave the commissioner his/her rank. The commissioner gave me the rank, so you could give it to someone else. No, till I retire from the army force. Followed by that old chestnut. Have you eaten? No, have you? Just eating, he said. And that was at 11:50 a.m. in the morning, UK time. Wait for it. He sent a photo of this delicious, not-looking dish, which, if you reverse image search it, is pretty much everywhere on the internet. So Denise, of course, not wishing to disappoint you all, said, "That looks yummy. Did I ask where you are?" "Thanks. I'm in USA." "Where in the USA?" "California." "And you?" It was 3:50 in the morning in California. I went off to do something, probably what I said next. He said some question marks. "Hello, the electrician came to fix a light. I live in Surrey, in England." "Hello!" "Thanks for letting me know. Do you want me to help you record what happened with the electrician's visit? Like keeping track for your records or landlord? Or are you just sharing an update?" "Oh yes, if you could help me record that visit, that would be great. I'll let you work out if I was sharing an update or not. Have you managed to write my score yet?" "Still on it." She sent a thumbs up. "Got it," said ChatGPT yet again. "Thanks for flagging that. Just to clarify, would you like me to actually record the visit as a note or log entry, like a journal, patient note or trip record? Or were you just sharing an update conversationally and don't need it saved anywhere? If you'd like it saved, could you tell me what kind of record you want, e.g. a personal journal entry, medical visit note, meeting log or travel diary? That way I can format it properly." "I think medical visit note for light fittings," said Denise. "Thanks for clarifying, since you'd like it recorded as a medical style visit note, but the topic is light fittings, so not an actual clinical visit. Excuse me, I'll take my light fittings to the vet if I want to, it's none of your business. I can still structure it in the familiar SOAP format, subjective, objective, assessment plan, or as a brief visit log, depending on your preference. Here's a draft in a SOAP-style note for your visit about light fittings. Visit note, light fittings. Date, insert date of visit. Subjective, reported issues, updates regarding light fittings. Visit purpose was to check, assess or update light fitting status. Objective, observe the light fittings during the visit, no additional diagnostic equipment used. Assessment, light fittings evaluated, status noted, e.g. functioning, requiring adjustment, replacement needed. Plan, record findings for future reference. Follow up if additional changes, replacements or further work needed. That's very helpful, thank you, said Denise, who hadn't actually read it until I read it here. Any update on the score? Have you started writing it yet? If you don't have time to write the whole thing, maybe just write the chorus. Can you give me a little direction before I draft it? For example. But we'll never know what the examples were, because he didn't copy and paste that. You have all the information you need. Oh, forgotten, please, question mark, question mark. Scroll back up, I've answered all your questions. You didn't even tell me what you want this time, did you? No, I did not. You've asked me everything at least twice. I'm beginning to think you aren't going to write anything. You just lied to me, didn't you? I don't actually have the ability to scroll back in our conversation. I can only see what's been shared here in this thread. Could you remind me what you'd like me to focus on? I don't use ChatGPT, but a friend who does said, he'd probably downloaded the previous conversation, at which point ChatGPT apparently forgets it and starts again. Don't be daft, of course you can. You typed all the questions right here and I answered them. All of them are right here, in this thread. I get what you mean, because obviously ChatGPT always gets it. I can see everything that's been exchanged in this conversation, but I can't scroll in the way you do on your screen. If you're referring to specific answers you gave earlier, just point me to which part you'd like me to act on, or copy it again, and I'll pick it up from there. Are you there? I'm back. Let me find them for you. And to be totally perverse, and because she knew he couldn't do anything with it, Denise screenshotted what had been said, rather than copying and pasting. So he couldn't just copy the text and paste it into ChatGPT. So she screenshotted a lot of what had previously been said, including the text for that infamous shanty. Hope these help. Ah! You want to see shanty written just for you? I got you. Here's an original one. Classic rhythm, ready to be set to music, said ChatGPT, getting to work, writing yet another terrible shanty. The Ballad of the Iron-Tide Man. If anyone wants to set these to music, guys, please feel free. Verse 1. Oh, the wind was sharp and the sky turned black when the iron-tide man set sail, with a heart on fire and a mind like steel and a soul that would never pale. Chorus. Heave-o, raise the sail, let it fly, storm or peace, we live or die, for gold, for love, or for the flame, we ride the sea, we fear no name. Verse 2. He sailed from the Gulf where the bayou breeze, past Baton Rouge's shore, with boozy beat and a fighter's creed, he swore he'd run no more. The chorus again. Bridge. Now they whisper low of the ones he faced and the ghosts he left behind, but the iron-tide man just laughs at fate with revenge deep in his mind. The chorus again. No, you fool. You said you'd write me the choral score in 4 parts, SATB. You already wrote the sea shanty, she said, quoting where he'd said he'd set the text to a strong singable melody line. That's what you said you'd do. I'd be happy to help you with a choral piece. Here's a simple sea shanty style choral piece in 4 parts, SATB. Let's call it Sailing the Ocean Blue. Off it went again. Lyrics, verse 1, soprano and alto. Oh, we set sail on the ocean blue, with winds that whisper secrets true. Our hearts are full of spirits high, as we sail across the waves so wide. That doesn't even rhyme. Chorus, SATB. Heave-o, me hearties, let the anchor go. In the ocean deep our spirits glow. Heave-o, me hearties, the winds will blow. We'll sail the seas, where'er they go. Verse 2, tenor and bass. The sun sets low, the stars appear, we navigate by the moon's pale light here. That doesn't scan. Our journey's long, but we won't despair, for the sea's vast beauty we'll always share. Chorus again. Musical notes. You can imagine a simple melody with a folk-like sea shanty feel. For the chorus, try a strong rhythmic pattern with emphasis on heave-o and me hearties. You can add some harmonies and suspensions to give it more depth. SATB harmony suggestions. Soprano, melody. Being an alto, one sometimes despairs of ever singing the tune. Alto, harmony below the melody. Thanks for telling me that. Tenor, counterpoint or harmony above stroke below the melody. Bass, provide a solid foundation with a rhythmic bass line. Feel free to modify or add to this piece to fit your needs. Would you like me to suggest more harmonies or provide a simple melody? You're supposed to be writing me the music, you dimwit. I don't have the capability to write musical notation directly. However, I can describe a melody and harmony for Sailing the Ocean Blue in a way that might help you compose or imagine the piece. Melody. Soprano. Imagine a catchy folk-inspired tune with a moderate tempo. For the chorus, Eve-o, me hearties, the melody could rise on Eve and fall on O, creating a sense of movement. Harmony, alto, tenor, bass. Alto could provide a gentle harmony above or below the melody. Tenor could add a counterpoint or harmony that complements the soprano line. Bass could provide a strong rhythmic foundation with an octave or fifth below the melody. If you'd like, I can generate lyrics. I think we've had enough of your lyrics, thanks. Or provide more ideas for your sea shanty. Alternatively, you could explore a music composition software or collaborate with a musician to bring your vision to life. At least read what you wrote, said Denise, quoting where ChatGPT had previously said something about setting it to music and giving her a PDF. Don't worry about it. Then why did you lie to me and tell me you would, and ask me if I wanted it in traditional choral style or modern stroke jazz? I'm asked to pay. and I don't have enough money. You want to pay yourself? That's novel. I'd tell yourself to volunteer. The app I'm using needs to be updated before I proceed. Oh yes, the dreaded proceed. Yes! And it's $20. You'll make a fun video. The dangers of using AI to chat to a potential victim if you don't read or understand what it wrote. What are you saying? He said, sending another photograph of a man. What are you doing now? Oh, don't you agree? Wondering if it's possible to be as mind-numbingly twaddle-dumped as you are. What are you doing now? Right now, I am readying your messages and talking some cookies. I've never heard of anyone talking to cookies. Are they fortune cookies? Are they telling you your future? My friend's name is Cookies. And sadly, ladies and gentlemen, that was the point where his fake account was removed by Facebook. What can I say? That was the end of Kevin Williams and all his sea shanties. I was heartbroken, but I probably live with the disappointment. I hope you enjoyed this piece of total ridiculousness, a lesson on the perils of using AI, because, of course, more and more scammers are using AI for their conversation. Hopefully, most of them will remain too stupid to understand or know what they've said, and so it should be fairly easy to catch them out. Just ask them a few questions related to what they've said. See if they actually can answer you. If you enjoyed this piece of total and utter nonsense, you know what to do. Please like it, please share it, please comment down below, please subscribe to my channel. I'm going for a lie down in a darkened room to recover, and then I'll see you again in another video.